Chatham Conservation Commission being held on January 14th, 2026 in accordance with the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Town of Chatham Wetlands Protection Bylaw and Regulations. My name is Karen Latin and I serve as the chair. Please note, this meeting is being recorded and will be available shortly hereafter for scheduled and on-demand viewing on any smartphone or tablet device. If anyone else is recording the meeting, including the use of AI note-taking apps, please notify the chair. Pursuant to Governor Healy's March 28, 2025 signing of Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2025 extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, GLC 30A 20 until June 30th, 2027, this meeting of the Chatham Conservation Commission is being conducted in person and via remote participation. Every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. A reminder that persons who would like to listen to this meeting while in progress may do so by calling the phone number 1-508-945-4410, conference ID 486684710#, or join the meeting online via Microsoft Teams through the link in the posted agenda. While this is a live broadcast and simulcast on Chatham TV, Xfinity Channel 1072, despite our best efforts, we may not be able to provide real-time access. We will post a record of this meeting on the town's website as soon as possible. Today's hearing is being conducted in person, by phone, and by video conference. The agenda, instructions on how to attend, and copies of documents for review are posted on the town's website. To all participants, whether attending by phone or online, please remain muted unless you've been recognized by the chair. When recognized, please identify yourself for the record. If you are attending by phone, you can mute and unmute by using *6. If you are online and you are not a commissioner, please keep your camera turned off unless you have been recognized. Indicate you wish to speak by using the raise hand feature. So we have a record of a quorum. I will now ask each commissioner to indicate their presence. Vice Chair Paul Johnson.
Present.
Janet Williams.
Present.
Elise Gordon.
Present.
Eric Hilbert is not here. Bob Delvecchio.
Present.
And I'm here, so we've established we have a quorum. Is there anyone who would like to make any announcements, comments, or future agenda items for anything other than the properties on the agenda today? You may comment on those when the property is being heard. Anybody? Okay.
No, Karen.
What?
I'm sorry, is this for future agenda items?
Future agenda items. And then please identify yourself for the record.
Gloria Hicks, South Chatham. And I wanted to know if you could put on the agenda to talk about twined fields and the protection of that conservation area. There is a development going in there. The ZBA right now in Penrose are working out major details, but regardless of what happens, that is designated for affordable housing, no matter who develops it. Right now, currently, there are 2 accesses from the development as planned going to twined fields. And that's a concern because the ZBA chair, those of you that watched the meeting or heard the meeting, it has been treated as an amenity, and it's not. We have very little conservation land in South Chatham. And the other thing is, I don't know if you look into or if there needs to be any kind of input by you in terms of the development in that ravine. I don't know if you've seen the topography.
The only thing that would, if it came before us, if there's any wetlands that they're trying to do any work within 100 feet of that,
Okay.
would be our jurisdiction. We are aware of this. It was part of our discussion in our pre-meeting yesterday. So we will, keep an eye on it.
Okay.
And if our agents feel that there is something that we need to contribute to it. But it is Conservation Foundation property.
Right.
So it is already protected
Okay.
by them.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, can I just
Sure,
comment quickly?
Paul, go ahead.
Yeah, it's actually owned by the town, and there's a conservation restriction on it that the CCF holds and we enforce, and we are well aware of that restriction, and certainly be amenable to whatever you decide to do about putting it on the agenda.
Okay, we will, maybe we could put that, we'll figure out a date for that to go on the agenda. Thank you, Paul. Before we begin the agenda, Bradford, are there any announcements for any requests for continuances today?
Yes, there are two requests for continuances. The first is the order of conditions for 22 Lime Hill Road. They've requested a continuance to February 25th, 2026, and the field change request for 155, 157 Bridge Street. They've requested a continuance to January 28th, 2026.
Great, thank you. At this point, Bradford Bauer, Chatham's Assistant Conservation Agent, will now lead us through the agenda.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We'll start with a requested order of conditions. The first one is 22 Lime Hill Road, 22 Lime Hill 22 Trust, map 12E, parcel 4-B6, SE 10-3746, proposed elevated catwalk, maintenance of existing path and mitigation. As I said, the applicant has requested a continuance to February 25th, 2026.
Great, if we could have a motion, please, for Lime Hill.
I move that we continue 202 Lime Hill Road to the meeting on February 25th, 2026.
Oh, I need somebody to second.
Second.
Oops, thank you. All right, Elise.
Aye.
Janet. Aye. Paul.
Aye.
Bob.
Aye.
And I say aye. Thank you. Next, Bradford.
Next up is an order for 18 Old Wharf Road, Russell and Jennifer Herdon, map 16I, parcel 9, SE 10-3756, construction of a garage addition within the buffer zone to a vegetated wetland.
Good afternoon, David Clark, Clark Engineering on behalf of the Herdons. The way we left it at the last meeting, Katrine was to make 3 changes to the plan. I believe she's done that. And
Yes.
She can't make the meeting today, but I doubt that you have questions on the changes because they're straightforward.
And did you have an opportunity to read the order?
Yep, everything's fine except you got 2 conditions in there about a revetment. This is an inland resource area, so I don't think it's necessary to have
In the special conditions? We have
the
to.
special conditions. Yeah, on the last page, 11 and 12, which would be under section D.
Oh, okay.
Standard condition.
Yeah, standard conditions. Okay.
That's it.
All right, we will get those removed. Have you found them, or do you want me to take them out later?
No, I just removed them, but it does say if applicable to the project.
Right.
So
Exactly. All right, if we could have a motion, please?
I just wanted to make
Oh.
a comment.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Katrine's not here, but, so, I was taken by Eric's comment at the hearing that he had planted that row of arborvitae, the 5 of them along the property line there. And, so I got curious about, they are at least, 20, 25 maybe feet high. And I thought that Katrine had said that they were going to be cut down to about 5 feet. So I did just a little bit of reading, enough to be dangerous. I'm no expert, and Bartlett trees is. But what I read was that with arborvitae, you can't cut too much without really damaging and endangering the life of the tree. So we put in the condition that any trimming has to be done in accordance with best practices.
Yep.
So, but without specifying how much they can take off. But I think that just needs to be really mindful that it's a multi-year process to bring them down.
Yep.
Not just lop them. Bradford, are you?
Yeah, if I may, Madam Chair. I spoke to Katrina about that, and her intention was to reduce the height by 5 to 8 feet.
And I put that in there by 5 to 8 feet, not to 5 to 8 feet, which is what I
Right.
thought that she
Yeah,
had in the application.
after the meeting, the homeowner thought that there was not a clear understanding about what was being
Yeah.
asked, because he presented to his neighbors that the height was only gonna be reduced by 3 to 5 feet.
Okay.
Eric said, well, maybe 8, and that's where I think it kind of got off track, and
It did.
it might have seemed that we were gonna cut them down to 3 to 5 feet. That's certainly not, and I talked to Katrine the next day, and she goes, absolutely not, we're reducing the height.
Okay, I just wanted to double check that because, and double check that she had no problem with the language in the order that they'll be cut by 5 to 8 and in accordance with best practices and blah, blah, blah.
Exactly,
Okay, just wanted to
Okay,
say something for the trees.
I did add a special condition at the end. I don't know if you were able to see it, David. Any plants planted around the new garage shall be approved by the conservation agent.
yeah, they were planted, that question was asked at the meeting, and I had asked the owners prior to, were they planting anything, and they said absolutely not, they didn't want to maintain any vegetation
Okay.
around that, but they can live with that condition.
Sure, terrific, thank you.
Sorry, Bob.
That's okay. And
I
then,
move that we close the hearing on 18 Old Wharf Road and approve the order of conditions as modified.
Second. Okay, Elise?
Aye.
Janet?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And I say aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next, please.
Next up is an order of conditions for 20 L Street, Karen Loscoco, map 10F, parcel R9, SE 10-3730, removal and replacement of pond access stairs.
Good afternoon, Mike Tanis from Blue Flags Design. We reviewed the draft order, and we just have one small comment. In the findings section, under number 9, it references an increase in the NDZ, when there, according to finding 1, there is none. So it's just a little bit of conflicting language there. But other than that, we have no comments.
Is there any work happening in the NDZ?
There is.
There is.
The elevated stairway is being built on
Okay,
the-
that's why it's in there, so what we just need to do is remove it's an increase. Maybe say work being done in the NDZ? Because that's why it's in there,
Okay.
because there is something happening, it's just not sorry I didn't catch that when I wrote it.
That's fine.
Anybody else? Bob, do you have anything?
Yeah, I think special condition number 5 is, I don't know if it's necessary. There isn't really a patio going in or anything like that.
I think it's because it's walkways, patios, driveways, and there's walkways. That's why I left it in. I don't know if that's correct or not, but I struggled with that one.
What kind of a walkway is it? I thought it was just steps down
Well-
to the,
Yeah.
It is steps down, and then above the elevated stairway, there are some
in-ground steps.
in-ground
Yeah.
pavers to help with
So
moving
it's
it.
probably not applicable. Yeah, probably,
Because
it's
of
probably
that.
not applicable because it's stone in between the steps,
Correct.
so.
Okay. Yep, as I said, I struggled
I did
trying
too.
to,
I saw it and said.
and went, well, wait, we do have pathways, but
Thank you,
thank you for bringing that up.
sure.
Anybody, anything else? Okay, then we could have a motion, please.
I move that we close the hearing on 20 L Street and approve the order of conditions as written.
Second?
Elise?
Aye.
Janet?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And I say aye. Okay, next, Bradford, please.
Next up is a field change request for 155, 157 Bridge Street, Eastward Companies, map 15B, parcel 1B, SE 10-3452. Demo 2 existing dwellings and a pool, reconstruct both dwellings. Field change request is to change the orientation of the pool and reconfigure the patio area. The applicant has requested a continuance to January 28th, 2026.
I move that we continue 155, 157 Bridge Street to the meeting on January 28th, 2026.
Second?
Elise?
Aye.
Janet?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And I say aye. Okay, next.
moving right along. Would you like me to read the next two in together?
Yes, please.
Okay. Next up, we have two notice of intents for, the first one is 53 Little Beach Road, Monomoy Rips LLC, map 16A, parcel H50, SE 10-3747, for demolition of an existing dwelling and construction of new dwelling within land subject to coastal storm flowage, and 47 Little Beach Road, Monomoy Rips LLC, map 16A, parcel H52, SE 10-3737, again for the demolition of an existing dwelling and construction of new dwelling and Title V subsurface sewage system within land subject to coastal storm flowage.
So, we've been to ZBA for the second time. Number 47 was approved. So we would ask that that one get closed. 53, we just got the revised footprints yesterday. We were able to get a plan out this morning to file with ZBA because they're being heard next Thursday. And we've also filed 8 copies upstairs. So 53 should be continued, obviously, till probably January 28th, if there's room on the agenda. Oh,
Right.
did you have anything to add? No.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
So, I know it made sense for the longest time to keep these two together, but if 47 is ready to go, should we consider separating them and moving ahead with an order for that and waiting?
We filed them separately, so there's
Yeah.
C numbers for individual ones for
Yep.
both properties. So you can close 47.
You don't see any further changes happening at 47?
No.
No matter what
in that-
happens at 53?
No matter what happens.
Okay.
Okay.
And the shared septic system was approved last night at the Board of Health, so that portion of the project now has a permit. Well, it's been approved at least.
Okay.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions, comments on either property? No? Then I think we can have two motions. You want 53 continued to the 28th.
Yes.
And then you want 47, we could do an order, we could do it for the 28th, or we could go into February. That's up to you. It'd be February 11th or 25th.
February 11th.
Okay.
Okay, I move that we continue 47 Little Beach Road to the meeting on February 11th, 2026 for an order of conditions.
Which one did you just say?
47.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Second?
Okay, Elise?
Aye.
Janet?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And I say aye.
And then I move that we continue 53 Little Beach Road to the meeting on January 28th, 2026.
Second?
Elise?
Aye.
Janet?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And I say aye.
Thank you.
Okay, Bradford.
Next up is a notice of intent for 196 Shore Road, John Swenson, map 16E, parcel 3, SE 10-3754, installation of a tidal pump chamber, force main, and generator within the buffer zone to a coastal bank.
David Clark, Clark Engineering again. So this one also was approved by Zoning Board of Appeals. It was the generator that required a special permit, being a few feet from the floodplain. So that was approved last week, so there won't be any changes to the portions of the project that are within your jurisdiction.
Okay, and there are no changes since we last heard it,
Correct.
correct? I didn't see anything come in. Bob, anything?
Just like we talked about the last time, David, you're not, you're okay with putting some natives around the
Generator?
pump, was it the controls and the alarm for the pump?
We don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, that's all I had.
Anybody else? Okay, I think then we can go to an order for that. Boy, we are just moving right along. When would you like that?
If you ever, like, have room on the 28th, that would be great. If not, 11th is fine, too.
We have room, if that's what you want.
Yep, that'll work.
Okay, if we can have a
I
motion.
move that we continue 196 Shore Road to the meeting on January 27th, 28th, 2026 for an order of conditions.
Second?
Elise,
Aye.
Janet,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
and I say aye.
Thank you.
Next, please, Bradford.
Next is a notice of intent for 620 Orleans Road, Sandra Shapiro, map 12J, parcel 19-10. We don't have a DEP number for this one yet, but it is for Phragmites management.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Jessica Kent from Timothy Kent Landscape, Timothy Kent here. It's a notice of intent to just do like a basic cut and swipe of invasive Phragmites. It's within the wetland, but yeah.
Okay. Anybody have any questions, comments before? Go ahead, Janet.
So on the site plan, it's not indicated where the area is, where the Phragmites is located that's going to be treated. Can you, at least I couldn't find anything.
No, it's not, and that was one of the things I was going to ask for.
I should have
is
highlighted.
We need it on the plan, reflected where you'll be working, because when we check it later on, if for a COC, we need to know what area's been worked.
Okay, so would you want me to recopy them, like highlight it on the plan and then give you another 8 copies of that?
Yes, but that doesn't stop us from being able to move forward as long as you would get it in before the next time we do anything.
Sure.
Anything else?
Yeah, a couple things. So this is pretty unusual. We don't often get Phragmites treatment proposals, so it's both exciting and a little nerve-wracking at the same time. So because we don't get to see it, I just wanted to double-check a couple of things. So all of the application is swiping by hand
Yeah.
after the
We'll
cutting?
bunch it all together, swipe it.
So you indicated 2 cuttings, one in July and one in the fall, and that's a little different from everything we've ever seen about Phragmites, which always says do it in the very late summer, early fall. So what does the July cut get you?
But that was the late summer one.
Oh, okay.
And the early fall would be September, probably.
So in both cases, you cut and swipe,
Yep.
and then you cut again in the fall and swipe it again? Okay, and I assume that that's going to be glyphosate
Yes.
that you're going to use? Is there any particular formulation of it that's appropriate for the marine environment where this is?
rodeo.
Yeah, rodeo, is that the one you're going to do? Okay. Okay. And then, so it's a multi-year process?
Yes, the client's
So-
aware of it. She,
So each year, you're going to have to mow. Do you treat again after each cutting?
Yep.
Depending on, okay, so what is your estimate for how long this is going to take?
take a few years.
It's gonna- it could take-
It's not just the one and done, and
Yep.
and the client's quite aware of it, and she's happy to do it, so.
So it's hard to say what the outcome is that we're looking for, and by a date, by a
Yes.
3-year period. So we would maybe make it a continuing condition in the order that you continue to cut and swipe until you can produce some kind of documentation showing that it's been eradicated, please.
Exactly.
Inshallah, right.
And I know that there's some neighbors that, not everyone's doing the same thing, but
So
she really wants to take care of that space, and
that's going to be another challenge.
Yeah.
One thing that because of the rhizomes, but at least having a cut down to the ground strip around the treatment area
Yeah.
will prevent them from jumping over on the surface. You can't do anything about the underground movement, but at least it'll delineate this area as being treated and to try to keep the bad boys out
Yeah.
on the other sides. Okay. Okay. Yep, that's it. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Good luck, boy.
I'd like to see you in your project narrative, rather than saying July 2026 and September to October 2026, to not specify the, late summer and again in fall. Just say that, and that this is a multi-year process. Because my question had been, first of all, just like Janet, knowing the area that is being worked on, but then I thought you only planned to do it twice, and I thought that's not going to do anything.
Right, no, this-
So, according to the narrative, it looks like you're only doing it twice. So if you could just remove those words and give us the new narrative, I'd appreciate it. Anybody, anything else? Bob, do you have anything?
Just something quick, Tim, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Good. Is it going to be applied by a licensed applicator?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Myself, Jessica, and we have another gentleman on staff. We all have licenses.
terrific. That's all I had. It's pretty straightforward, I think. I noticed some Phragmites way off on the distance as well. Maybe not on the property line or,
Yeah, so her neighbor has some, there's another gentleman that's up another property from her that had done a pretty good job eradicating it. And then wherever her property is, we're working that whole space.
so the whole space,
Yeah,
okay?
it really is a whole space, and I think that's why we didn't delineate it, because it was a whole
All right.
space. So we'll make sure that that is delineated.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
I think we could go to an order. How would February 11th sound?
Fine.
Okay,
Okay, I move that we continue 620 Orleans Road to the meeting on February 11th, 2026 for an order of conditions.
Second?
Elise?
Aye.
Janet?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And I say aye. Thank you.
We'll have that stuff for you.
Great, that'll give you plenty of time to get it into us, and then we can work the order. Thank you so much. Okay, the next, please.
Next up is a notice of intent for 14 Main Street, Chatham Beach and Tennis Club, map 16B, parcel 73, SE 10-3757. Remove and replace retaining walls within the buffer zone, replace retaining walls and boardwalk within coastal dune.
Good afternoon, David Clark, Clark Engineering, on behalf of the club. So this is another project on the property where they're making improvements or repairs to existing infrastructure. So on the west side of the property is the parking lot for the facility. There are some timber retaining walls that are in desperate need of replacement. And so in talking with their contractors felt that the best long-term solution would be to remove all the treated timbers and replace it with concrete blocks. A majority of the project is outside the 100-foot buffer from the isolated wetland that's on the other side of Burses Lane. There's a short section near the entrance to the tennis courts that will be replaced. That wall is only 2 feet high, maybe. So it's, at least as far as the work that's in your jurisdiction, it's a pretty simple process of digging that, removing and digging that stuff out and replacing it with the concrete. On the south side of the parking lot, there is a stretch of timbers that are rotted also, and that really doesn't require excavation. It's just pulling them up and replacing them. Over on the east side, there are some board and batten walls that keep the coastal dune from entering onto or transitioning onto the tennis court. Those boards need replacing. Obviously, due to its location, all that work has to be done by hand, and they're well aware of that, and that's part of their contract with that individual that'll be doing that work. So again, it's all hand tools. Remove the existing wooden structure and replace it in kind. The structure is a little bit higher than the dune that's right next to it, so we don't foresee much dune material being displaced during this operation, especially if they can do it this spring before the weather warms up, and then do it while the sand is still relatively wet. Should stay in place. In doing the research just before filing this, we found that there's 4 outstanding orders of conditions on this. One of them, thankfully, Crystal was able to find the certificate of compliance, but it was never recorded. So we filed all the paperwork yesterday and filed supplemental information this morning to get those 3 outstanding orders closed out and a replacement certificate for the one that was lost.
Yeah, I saw that you have some COCs for the next meeting,
Yes, yeah.
so
Yeah,
C3.
one of the orders was for the replacement of the septic system. That was from 1989.
Yeah, they're old.
One order is for the shed, the second shed that's down on the south end of the property. Third order was for the walkway out to the beach.
Yeah.
And the last one, the most recent, was the new deck on the east side of the building, which all those have been completed for between 40 and 10 years almost. So,
Oh, well.
yeah. I think the walkway predates, the septic system was 89, the walkway was before that. I think it was 82, 83.
They are all in the folder for the next meeting.
Yep.
Okay, anybody, questions, comments? Paul, I think you had something you had brought up yesterday.
Yeah, but that's outside of our jurisdiction.
The fill,
Yeah.
all of it?
Well, is the fill that you said you're going to need to change the grading on that, is
Yeah.
that's outside of the,
Yes.
yeah.
This project, portions of this project is within estimated habitat or rare species, so we did make a filing under the Massachusetts Endangered Species Program. They have 30 days to respond. As of today, I did not see a comment letter, so we would have to continue this
Right.
because of that anyway, so.
This is going to seem silly, but there's 33 square feet of increased coverage.
Yep, and we don't show mitigation, and it was kind of confirmed when I was out there staking it for viewing purposes. I couldn't drive a stake into the ground where the grass is, that little strip of grass that's 2
Yeah,
feet
it's
wide
just
between
grass
the
that's-
wall and the.
Yeah.
There's something impervious underneath that. Either it's asphalt from an older parking lot or a really dense layer of clay from the tennis court. But, so it's marginal habitat that's getting lost anyways. And if it is asphalt underneath.
You'll be improving it,
Yeah.
sort of.
But when that all has to come out for the new wall, so there'll be an opportunity to plant that little strip with native grasses.
Okay.
Probably do a lot better than what's there now.
If you could plant it with something, native grasses, that would be terrific, only because there is that increase.
Yep.
Anybody else? Bob, Janet, go ahead.
So, David, the boardwalk was permitted in 1980-something?
In the 80s, yeah.
It's been replaced since then? I mean, it's fairly new-looking, it tracks.
Yes, it's supposed to be seasonal. They obviously haven't taken it out this year. But I did look back on Google Earth, and there are instances over the last 30 years where it's not there in the Google Earth image. I believe when that boardwalk was permitted is about the time of the break in the barrier beach, and there was no beach in the late 80s here. I mean, the revetment from this property all the way north to a hallway of just actually Andrew Harding's Lane.
up there.
all those revetments were exposed. So I think there's been an incremental increase in the length of it, it appears. But it obviously terminates at an area that they've used as a beach area that's now sheltered by another dune.
Yep.
Out to the open water. So for the most part, I feel it's what got permitted. The materials have changed, obviously, because, you know, in 1980s, the only thing that was available was Walmanized lumber, which is banned now. And they've moved to the Trex.
Okay, so it was permitted as a seasonal
Yep.
boardwalk,
I believe, I'm pretty sure. I'll have to double check
but just simply hasn't been taken out this year?
this year,
Is it-
yeah.
Okay, because it is, you know, a good part of it is in the VE zone, so probably shouldn't be there through the storm season. So hopefully they can take it out. I mean, we're not through the storm season yet, so, but, okay, it didn't seem like it needed to be replaced as part of when I was walking on it.
No, this is the area that's immediately adjacent to the tennis court. So
Not the boardwalk going out onto the
not going
dune.
out to the water, so the limit of work
Okay.
is really right where it takes that
Okay.
dog leg out to the beach.
Okay.
All that
That definitely
boardwalk.
needs to be replaced, that, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so, because I was very confused going, this
sorry.
seems, you know, in good shape and relatively recent, but,
Yep.
so two things. One, can make a note, ask them to get that out for the season. And secondly, there's a lot of scattered bits of metal, with supports from old fencing out in the dune in different places, and some snow fence remnants that are out there. Can they remove that? I mean, it doesn't look like any of that is performing any kind of function anymore.
Yeah, one of the Google images is from quite a while ago showed the fence quite clearly, so that was probably when it was new and.
Yep, yeah, it's mostly gone, but the metal supports are still there sticking up out of the dune, so they should be removed. Okay. You got my attention with the calling out of the isolated wetland as a possible vernal pool. What made you say that?
That's the way it was permitted when we did the work on that property years ago. Wilkinson did an extensive wetland restoration, and we called it out as a vernal pool there. Since the town has fixed the drainage problem on Lower Main Street, it doesn't receive very much water at all anymore. But this time of year, there'd always be standing water in that wetland.
There is now, I think, yeah.
But it was a pond almost.
Okay, but it's not a vernal pool?
We didn't look at it. Really, the only work, well,
Well, because that 50-foot line is.
yeah, we're replacing the timbers. I don't know how to address that, and
Yeah.
we were expanding on paper by 33 square feet, but we're basically replacing in kind with a better product.
Yeah, no, I get that, but it got my attention that it said, I've not seen something called out as a possible vernal pool
Yeah.
ever, that I can think of, so just wanted to know why you did that, okay, well, I'm going to assume it's not, maybe take that out, take that off the plan. And that's all I have.
And the other reason, I think your regulations presumes it to be a vernal pool unless information's provided that it's not.
So where do you fall on that question then, in your,
We don't want to wait till May and June well, April, May, and June to take a look at this. Plus, it doesn't change what we want to do, and nor would we change anything if
No.
it was a vernal pool.
no, it's still 100 feet, right, so all those retaining walls would still be outside, okay.
Yeah,
It's
and
true, it wouldn't change that. I was just thinking about the expanded 100 feet, but you'd still be outside that, even if it were.
And the notice of intent that was filed for that shed was just under a local approval because there isn't a buffer zone under the state regulations to the isolated
Right,
wetland.
right.
So,
Right. All right, thank you.
Anybody, anything else? So we do have to continue it, since we're waiting for the endangered species. When did you file it? Like this week?
No, when we filed the, so
Okay.
they've had it for 2 weeks now.
So we could continue it,
Well, if
To
I know
any
they-
of the,
they're anxious to get started on the handwork out by because it's a different contractor that'll be doing the major wall, so
you want to go to the 28th?
if it's possible, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Okay, if we could have a motion to go to the 28th.
I move that we continue 14 Main Street to the meeting on January 28th, 2026.
Second?
Elise?
Aye.
Janet? Aye. Paul?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And I say aye. All right, next one, Bradford, please, and I think it's two together.
Next up is a notice of intent for 61 El Filaments Lane, 61 El Filaments Lane, El Filaments LLC, map 16C, parcels 36-14, SE 10-3758. Replace old hardscape, add stepping stones, remove invasive plants, plant native species, renovate weedy areas with fine fescue, grass seed within buffer zone to salt marsh and within flood zone. And notice of intent for 63 El Filaments Lane, Ellen Downing Gould Living Trust, map 16C, parcels 36-14, SE 10-3759, new plantings with hardscape for single-family home within buffer zone to salt marsh and within flood zone.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Sophia Pilling, Sweetfern Gardening. This is Sean Farrell from Schumacher Companies. Sorry. We also have Bob Perry online to answer questions as well. It's a bit of a team effort. Sean is taking the head on the site prep and any landscape construction. I represent kind of the gardening piece of it, and Bob obviously did the plan and the area calculations. So essentially what we have is a pretty, I guess, neglected landscape. The hardscape is really old, not so functional. The vegetation is a mix of bare ground, weeds, some invasive plants, some, just regular plants. And so what we would like to do is refresh the hardscape, the patio, refresh some of the shell areas, and we would like to put in new plantings. If you've seen the site plans, we're super limited by space. So we need the space to work for the homeowners so they can use the areas they would like to use, and any of the available garden space that could potentially have been transformed from what it is now, which is, again, either bare ground, weeds, or sort of a lawn, into beds with native plants in them. So we would like to keep some of the, Cape Cod lawn areas, have that be low-maintenance fescues, but like I said, any of the garden beds that we could possibly manage to turn into plant beds, offering, pollen and nectar for pollinators, habitat, any sort of things like that we tried to do. So I will take any questions you might have.
Do any other representatives want to speak before we get into questions and comments? I don't know. I see Bob's on, but I don't see that he wants to speak. So then I'll open it to commissioners. Anybody want to start? I will, just with part of it. On your coverage charts and the change and the mitigation, for 61, the coverage, what you're proposing for mitigation is fine. For 63, you have a net change in the NDZ of 56, which should be 112 mitigation, you're offering 93. And for the outer aura, the net change is 37.5, and you're offering 30. So both those numbers are off.
Okay.
So you need to do something more.
Okay.
So that's my first comment. I tell you, I feel like I had to do a lot of work to figure out what's going where because we don't have a separate mitigation plan. I really like having a separate mitigation plan. And I'm not sure, because within the NDZ, it has to be 100% native.
Yep.
And within the outer aura, 75, and I'm not, I am not 100% sure. It's whether, how it is, I haven't, it was just a lot to sit with the descriptions you have and go back to your plan and trying to figure out. So those are just a couple comments. I do have one email that was received from William Lightfoot at 55 Elephant Lane. He says, I would like to support the application for the proposed activity at 61 Elephant Lane to replace and improve the existing hardscape and vegetation. I think this will result in an attractive improvement to the neighborhood. So just so that we have that read into the records. Anybody
Madam
have-
Chair,
Yes.
that's Bob Perry.
Hi, Bob.
Hi there. So I participated with Sweet Fern Gardens to examine what they were doing and to look at the existing site coverages and the various planting beds. Just want to put my 2 cents in here that it is a difficult site to quantify all components, as you would understand from being there. The largest alteration is the introduction of stepping stones that would be considered, they're quantified as hardscape, but they do provide a surface protection for the ground to avoid ground up soil and subsequent erosion if there were a flood. But one of the mitigation components that may or may not be acceptable, since there was limited space, you can see how scrappy the ground is, but once the site's been organized with the stepping stones, one footnote was that native grass, and I believe Sophia mentioned the native fescues. Native fescue grass would then be in every location. Otherwise, it would be the ground cover. But I'm not certain that those areas have been quantified as mitigation. So the overall effect, while it didn't meet those criteria for ratios of mitigation to hardscape, the overall effect was intended to be valuable from a mitigation standpoint. But if you need changes, I'm sure we can work through them. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions, comments? Go ahead, Bob.
I have a question. Thank God you're here, Bob, to save the day. That's all I can say. Just kidding. The area right behind the seawall, it has some ornamental grasses, I believe, in it. What are those grasses?
Those are a mitigation planting that you approved last year that were put in. So that is Bartina patens, it's Juncus gerardii, and sea lavender. So those were all part of the planting.
And the same grass mix that Sophia referred to, that Bob also referred to, that isn't necessarily in those mitigation calculations, but is proposed as the ground cover throughout the rest of the property.
Okay. Can that be planted a little bit more? It's pretty sparse right now, especially when you get maybe some splash over.
Yeah, so that's sort of in process. It's a really difficult site to establish anything to grow.
Yeah.
So those plugs were sort of placed, with proper spacing. A lot of those grasses are going to spread. We did have there was an early nor'easter that kind of knocked back the progress. We replaced with grasses in kind, and my plan is for this spring to get, a new tray of that same species of plugs to fill in. I just didn't want to do it before the winter because there's just no point. So yeah, absolutely. We want that to establish and be dense and really to have no need for mulcher to be able to see anything like that. So yes, that's the goal.
Okay. Is there any way you can identify that on the plan then, if you're going to make changes to it?
Isn't that a separate
It is a separate
project? So.
order.
And I think that's already kind of agreed upon, right? That those plants should be established successfully at a certain rate for X amount of years. So that's sort of what I'm in the middle of doing, is
Okay.
keeping track of that success and.
Okay,
That's
that-
why they haven't
sure.
applied for a CFC
Yep.
yet.
Other than that, you're talking about fescue, kind of grass
Correct.
in the area. And would you be seeding that or sodding that, or how would that?
In any other case, I would prefer to seed it. Again, at this site, it is unbelievably hard to get
Yeah.
seed to grow. There's splash over, there's an amazing amount of wind, so sod would be much more successful, just to establish that healthy stand of grass. And then I would say that anything that struggles over the years, it would be easy just to seed any spots that are bare so that we do get a good cover.
Okay, so you just, so probably sod would be more successful. Something like Black Beauty sod or something like that.
So
They make a fine fescue sod.
they do,
Right.
It's chewings, red.
Yeah, yeah.
Similar to the seed blend, so.
And that would be irrigated temporarily?
yes, yep,
Okay.
temporarily.
Okay, that's all I have right now. Thank you.
Welcome.
Janet, anything?
Yeah. Hi, so the whole site's in the coastal floodplain, right?
Correct, yeah.
And at about 5 feet elevation. So even with the wall that was installed, it strikes me that this site is inevitably going to be flooded at different times just because of its topography and where it's located. So I'm bothered by the increase in hardscape in a floodplain that is particularly likely to flood. And, I mean, I know you tried to address that. Partly it's, the stepping stones are awfully close together, maybe fewer. I saw what you talked about, maybe a possibility would be a mowed path, but I agree that that's hard to maintain and not easy to provide the access you're looking for. But maybe there's a way that's less intensive than these large stones that are very close together. But the real problem I have is the patio. Having a patio in the floodplain like that, to me, it just can't meet a performance standard of not decreasing the ability of the land to absorb floodwater. So I just don't see how I can support a patio in that location. But I think something might be able to be done with the stepping stones to decrease their intensity and their impact.
We are proposing a permeable base for all of the hardscaping,
Yeah,
with the intention for it to be able to absorb some groundwater.
so the permeability you're talking about like permeable pavers, or what kind of material are you talking
It
about?
would be a washed crushed stone base.
Base, but what's on
that
top, what's on the
acts as a
surface?
sieve. We would be jointing it with pure sand or a rice stone, similar to an application that we've done in along Provincetown Harbor.
Yep.
On a driveway that floods seasonally. We used that and we found that without the driveway settling or shifting or needing maintenance.
What's the width of the joints?
The joints would be 3/8.
3/8. And what is the patio material itself?
Well, I should
Blue
say
stone or-
3/8 if it was a dimensional. We're talking about a regular stone, so you're gonna have areas where the joints are an inch and a half.
It's tumbled bluestone.
It's tumbled bluestone, so there's nothing permeable
right?
about the
There's-
surfacing of the patio. It's
Not
only the
surface,
joints
it's the
that,
jointing and the base itself. So
May I
Not
interject?
introducing fines.
Excuse me, through the chair, there's a patio there today. I don't recall what it was made of. Is it brick or is it bluestone?
It's slate, yep.
slate, yeah,
But
So
this
the-
patio is going to be bigger.
yep.
Right, it's an expansion of that by, I think, about 25%.
Yeah.
So there's there's an existing patio on an impermeable base currently.
On a concrete base or something like
More of like a traditional like stone dust, with a lot of fines in it.
So
That's
in,
not taking any groundwater.
in our alternatives analysis, we offered to keep the patio the same size if that's not an
Yeah, I
acceptable.
saw that.
Yeah, so I mean, it's,
Another option might be to use a more permeable material. Permeable pavers are okay, but like bluestone, they're only permeable in the joints, so it doesn't really get you anywhere. But there's a permeable concrete product that becomes permeable throughout. I don't know if you wanted to look into that. But I can't support expansion of bluestone in this particular location. That's all I have, thanks.
Yeah, I don't know if something like a porous paved material is necessarily viable in an environment like this. Having done that in commercial applications.
Only in
where they need to
driveways
be
is the only place we've seen it.
vacuumed and cleaned, and so if you're taking storm surge, it's going to clog.
yeah.
Isn't that true of the joints as well? Because that's part of the problem of anything that, where the only
a little
permeability is in the
easier.
joists, unless you keep them really clear.
It's a little easier to maintain.
Yeah, it's a tough location.
It is.
It's just a very difficult location.
I
I
think.
get that, and I feel for your clients, because, you know, it's very constrained, it's a really tough little lot. It's got a beautiful vista, but, you know, part of what you pay for is that it is in the flood zone.
If I may. I think this is the piece where the functionality for the homeowners is important to consider, where the overall impact of improving this piece of land, which is, again, weedy, it's, you know, there's exposed soil, all of that stuff. I think that the intent to kind of bring it back to having, you know, there be vegetation that helps the water to soak in when we have these large precipitation events that we're having nowadays. You know, the overall impact of introducing this number of native plants, this much kind of like thought into the layout, I think that, you know, replacing a patio in kind with materials that are, you know, non-toxic, the impact is not great on, I think, overall. It's such a small patio on such a small lot that it just seems like a reasonable ask to be able to replace it in kind. I'm not sure what the alternative is for, you know, functional use of the people who live there, so.
As you know, we get comments from zoning, and as they have said, for both properties, that no zoning relief is required, but they also added a comment. The replacement, in addition to the hardscaping, must not alter the grades as the entire site falls within the Coastal Conservancy District. So I just want to make sure that you are very much aware of that and that there truly is no change in grading. Okay,
Absolutely.
perfect. Bob, go ahead.
Just got a question on the driveway. Is there a driveway there now? I didn't walk over there, but,
Yeah.
Yes, there's an asphalt apron and there's a crushed shell driveway
okay.
with cobblestone edging. We're suggesting to make the driveway narrower and do a cobblestone apron at the end within the footprint, if not a little smaller than the asphalt that's there currently.
Currently there, okay, thank you.
Anything else? Anybody? Okay, so how does everybody feel? I don't hear that we're asking them for anything.
I'm sympathetic with the size and the
Oh, yeah.
desire to use that. I vacationed in that area when I was a kid. and swam in Mill Pond, and I know those two little houses, so.
Thank you.
It's tough to want outside space, but not, for us, not wanting to take up additional hardscape.
I mean, I would like to see the patio remain the size that it already is and not be expanded. I don't know if you want to go back to the owners and ask if they're amenable to that. I think that might be our biggest stumbling block right now.
And reduce maybe the intensity of the
Yeah,
steppers.
The steppers, so.
If you can just, the more you can reduce the coverage and the flood zone, the better.
Yeah.
Sure.
Chair, if I might just ask a question. If the patio was the size as proposed, but the joints were to be established so that the hard surface was approximately equivalent to the hard surface that's there today, and a, you know, a medium for separating those pavers or the stones, you know, was sufficiently permeable in your mind, would that be an alternate?
You mean having it a larger patio but be wider
But
joints?
equivalently absorbent. My take on flood that would occur here is a moderately significant overwash in an A zone. It's not completely calm water, but
No.
The infiltration into the ground of a coastal flood is pretty significant. If you have a small patio with spaces between stones, and it's a sandy area overall, you're going to have a very significant influx of water into the ground, but it would be the kind of, surface stones will not be, at least in my opinion, something that would impede entry of floodwater into the ground such that it would elevate the floodwater any higher. So while I certainly appreciate every concern about expanded surfaces in the close buffer, I don't think the threat is significant for doing that in modest and very marginal increases. However, if you think about these random shaped tumbled slates, they can be patterned in a way to give you an ample sitting area, but they are often separated by several inches. And I don't know if that's amenable to the applicant because I'm not the landscaper. And I contributed to that plan in the numerical end of it, but we didn't do the details of the plan. But I just wanted to put it out there, if there was a size of a sitting area, but it could equal a permeable space, maybe that's something to also consider besides removing stepping stones.
Would you be able to provide the infiltration calculation on something like that? 'Cause
Well, it
we
would never
wouldn't be
be
able to tell.
It's a black art, but to some extent, within, I would say, within minutes of what would be the 100-year flood at this property, where there's 5 feet of water, standing. Anybody who goes to the beach, you can see how quickly water infiltrates into sand. We have the Liffemitz Lane, we have the driveway, we have the houses. Water is going to course into the crawl spaces of those homes. It's an imperfect science, but we're just looking at this generally. I'd be happy to try to work out something like that, but I don't think it would be meaningful. I'm just getting at the possibility that if it is, shoulder to shoulder bricks or slates today, I think we could improve the permeability of the surface and give it that modest expansion.
Well, if you could, I mean, I get what you're saying, it's a black art, but we would need to be able to make a finding that the expanded patio is the functional equivalent from a permeability perspective of the patio that is currently there, so there's no particular change. If we could make that finding, that might justify and be able to get us to reach the performance standard, but without it, it's really hard.
I understand that, and if the applicant is truly seeking a functional sitting area that often, needs to be larger than 8 by 8, then I would agree to examine that and then bring it to you at whatever point in future this meeting continues to.
I think we would need that. We have to justify approving whatever is finally approved, and we have standards that we have to use to, come up with that approval, so,
Well, that's fair, very fair. We've probably all seen tumbled slate patios with crushed stone in the interstitial spaces. That would be significantly more permeable or pervious than what's there. So I think what I was hearing, and I don't mean to go on here, but I think the agent for the owner needs to find out if the patio can remain the same or if they'd like to explore ways to get it bigger, since that seems to be a sticking point. I don't know what Sophia's.
Yeah, sure thing. We'll
Yeah,
get to
go ahead,
the
Bob.
answer quite quickly.
Go ahead.
Yeah, maybe even 3/8 stone in the joints, and maybe, I don't know, half, were you thinking of using 1/2 inch below or 3/4 inch below, or?
So we tend to start sometimes at 1.5 inch, go up to 3/4, and it acts as a sieve, and then we're setting the stone on 1/4 inch stone,
I see,
and
yeah,
then using a 1/4 inch stone to joint it.
in the joints,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
That's how it constructed. It was essentially like a reclaimed granite driveway in Provincetown, and it performed incredibly well. That's the bottom of the driveway along Commercial Street floods 2 to 3 times a year,
Yeah,
and it performed incredibly well.
yeah. Okay, thank you.
So we have that, and we have consider decreasing the size of the stepping stones. So obviously you need to come back.
Okay.
So when would you like to do that? We have January 28th, we have February 11th, we have February 25th, and then we're into March.
I think January
28th,
28th
yeah.
sounds great.
Okay, for both, I'm assuming. Okay, I think if we could have a motion to continue both to January 28th.
I move that we continue 61 and 63 Emmets Lane to the meeting on January 28th, 2026.
Second?
Elise?
Aye.
Janet?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And I say aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks for your time. Bye-bye.
All right, the next one, Bradford, please.
Next up is a notice of intent for 101 Uncle Dean's Road. Donald and Elise Sherman, DES Living Trust, map 4D, parcel 14-A10, SE 10-3760. Project proposes to remodel and expand the existing dwelling at the property. The project includes the reconstruction of the existing deck and several small additions to the footprint. Project includes substantial vegetation management program for invasive plant species on the bank and 50-foot buffer.
Okay, hello.
Good afternoon. For the record, I'm John O'Reilly. To my right is Attorney Bill Riley, and to my left is CC from Blue Flax Design. Also in the audience is Elsie Sherman, the owner, along with Sibel, the architect. So I would just like to introduce the project. So we're dealing with a property on 101 Uncle Dean's Road, and its southern border is Taylor's Pond. So we're dealing with several resources: land under the water body, which would be the pond; land subject to coastal storm flowage, which is an AE zone at elevation 12. And because of the topography on the southern side, we're dealing with a coastal bank. And on the plan, you'll see that I provided the commission several sections that, in accordance with the technical program from DEP, policy from DEP, we've established the top of the coastal bank along the 12-foot contour, and a significant break in the bank on the west side of the dirt path. So the house is currently, the lot is currently improved with the single-family dwelling, along with a driveway, 5-bedroom septic system, and a series of decks. So the proposal, so just the existing conditions is we have an edge of deck to the coastal bank just under 33 feet. And we have the dwelling at 46, so just under 47 feet, again, from the coastal bank. So the proposal is to add 3 additions to the house. The first addition is the addition on the entry, which is on the north side of the building, approximately 90 feet away from the resource. We have a proposed sunroom, which will be elevated on posts on the east side of the building. We are also proposing a small addition, again, to the north of the sunroom, in that corner, to the footprint of the building. So the idea here is we're going to utilize the existing foundation for the home itself, add 3 additions, and then completely redo the wood frame portion of the house and rebuild that portion of the house. So with regards to where we are with the proposed setbacks, we are looking at, the deck is going to be reconstructed on the southern side. And so that will be, I'm sorry, I misspoke. The existing deck is 31 feet away from the coastal bank. The proposed deck, as I said, is at 33 feet from the bank. The sunroom is 37 feet, 38 feet away from the bank as well. So we are working within the 50-foot buffer, and we have asked for a variance to do so. We've given you some alternatives analysis. CC and her team have developed the mitigation plan. We do show just under 200 square feet of expansion in the 50-foot buffer zone, and a little less than 600 square feet in the 50 to 100-foot buffer zone. And Blue Flags have come up with the mitigation proposal to offset that expansion. I do know that staff has asked several questions, so I'll address those now. One, we are adding some fill on either side of the house. The total of fill is less than 50 cubic feet for the retaining walls. I think that was one question. There is a conflict between the 2 plans with a rinse station, so we will certainly address that in a revision. And was that I think that was the only thing. Those were the only 2. I'm sorry. Mr. Riley and myself did file with the Zoning Board of Appeals for this. They've asked for some clarifications, which are going to necessitate a revision. It mostly has to do with the pool location outside your jurisdiction. But I do owe them that revised plan. So with that, I'll turn it over to CC, and we'll go from there.
All right. Hi, everyone. Cece Camilleri with Blue Flags Design, and I will kind of just walk through the site and what we are proposing for you. We are proposing to manage everything within jurisdiction, all of the property, and I have hatched different areas throughout the property that have different varying degrees of invasive species management. It's over 5,000 square feet, this whole area that we're proposing to manage. And yeah, I'll just kind of walk through. Great. So I am going to begin just identifying the different kind of colors that correspond with the key. We have this dark green area that has a higher presence of invasive species that we noticed kind of at 60%. Those invasive species include bittersweet, shrub honeysuckle, autumn olive, porcelainberry, English ivy, periwinkle, and there are black locust saplings throughout the site. The lower amount of invasive species we identified is in this lighter green area. There's really beautiful native vegetation present throughout this site. It's a well-canopied site, healthy native vegetation, oak, pitch pine plant community, Pennsylvania sedge is the ground cover, bayberry throughout. And then as we get closer to the pond, we have Spartina patens, the salt marsh hay, and high tide bush prevalent. So it's a well-vegetated site, and for the most part is not heavily invaded. But we propose to manage all invasive species we identify on the site and restore the areas that we manage more heavily, which is denoted with the different colors. We have a small area here in orange, which is a historically managed area for vistas to the pond of topped oak trees that have been pruned and managed for decades. And these trees are in poor condition. From the pruning practices, fungal disease has gotten into these trees. The tops of the canopy are very dense, which shades the understory, and so there is not a lot of plant species growing beneath these oak trees. And they're not able to reach fruiting mature size, so they no longer produce acorns. So we are proposing to remove 14 historically topped oak trees from this vista area, and we're replanting the entire area densely with native vegetation that's more appropriate to maintaining these views without the need for continued pruning and maintenance. We also are proposing to remove 19 native trees and 2 non-native yews from within the 100-foot buffer for the construction of this project. And per the Chatham regulations, we are replacing these trees 1-to-1. So replacing 21 trees for 21 trees within the 100. And we're also kind of planting them into the 50 as well, so that we're not overcrowding the area that we're replanting. We also, in this little red hatch right there, is the existing path, and we're proposing, thank you, to just reroute the path so that it lines up better with the flow of the house. And so the homeowners have easier access down to the path, and we'll restore this entire existing path area. And the existing path does have areas of erosion and siltation and can be a bit slippery and hard to walk on. So we are proposing in-ground steppers along the path, kind of to be determined in field as we begin this restoration process. We can be more specific if you'd like, with number of in-ground risers on the path. But that is our plan so far. Thank you.
Okay. Does anybody want to start? Go ahead, Bob.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. On the proposed sunroom or sun porch, you're encroaching into the no disturb zone, correct?
Yes.
I would be in favor of reducing the size of either the decking, I know the existing deck is there already, either the deck or the sun porch. Because you are encroaching into the no disturb zone. There are also a couple of pine trees out beyond where the sun porch is proposed that I'd like to keep as well. They're pretty far away from the house itself. And I don't know if you can locate those now, but
Are they just east of the proposed sunroom as it's staked? Okay.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're pretty far out.
Okay, we could look.
I know there's some autumn olive
Yeah.
along the edge of the grass. That's pretty bad, and I don't have any problem with the rest of the invasive species control or the planting. And I like the idea of the path. I saw the erosion on the path. I think that's a great idea to add the in-ground steps. You might want to include the kayak rack. at the bottom of the path, which is there, which is nice as well for the environment.
Yes, I am showing that. It's just a little, I know this is a busy plan. I have it shown right here.
Oh, yeah, it's there.
Yeah, that'll
Oh,
stay
you're up,
there.
okay. Okay, I see it, thank you. Anyway, so that's really my 2 cents at this point. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I do have 2 butter letters, so we can read them now, or? Go ahead.
So I agree with Bob about the location of the porch. You've got an awful lot of outdoor living areas on this plan. And given the options and what's available, it doesn't strike me that you need to have that encroachment into the no disturb zone. And I had a suggested idea for how that might be remedied, but it actually brought up another issue. But the suggestion was, you've got a proposed new deck back in the outer aura. Again, given that the amount of decking that's already there, I'm not sure that that's going to be needed. It's under the trees. It doesn't really have much of a view. Maybe if you put the screen porch there and eliminate that deck, that gets the screen porch out of the no disturb zone. But that made me look at the coverage in the outer aura, and I didn't see a calculation of what the percentage is, because our regulations maximize coverage in the outer aura at 35%.
It's 56.1.
Okay, so this is already over, which is why, my idea
At
is
least
sort of
proposed.
started and stopped.
It's on the top.
Okay, so you would just need a variance for that instead of for the screen porch, and I would tell you that I would support that just because it's so much further back and out of the way and closer to the house, that kind of a variance would probably get my support as opposed to a variance for a screen porch where you've got it located. The only other thing I would say, 19 trees is a lot, and I guess that's because of the grading that's going on. That's, if Bob's suggestion of saving some of them is worth looking at, but what really is bugging me, to be honest, is the topped oaks. So I feel like we've seen this so many times now, where is there an approved vista corridor or view window on this property?
No.
No, that's why it's just called historically managed. So without any approval or permitting, what's happened is that these oaks have essentially been destroyed and will be replaced by native shrubs. Nothing against native shrubs, they're great. They are nowhere near the kind of ecosystem value that native oaks provide. And it feels like the more we allow this to happen, the more we are rewarding people for topping oaks and then planting with shrubs that will never grow into the view window again. Too late to save these trees, I get it, that they are doomed, but I'd want to see them replaced with native oaks, which will take years and years to grow into the view. They can enjoy that, but it would at least, you'd be swapping out what's being lost for what can be replaced, rather than shrubs. So that's my 2 cents on that.
I agree. All right, I have 2 abutter emails, and I'll read them. The first is from Linda O'Brien. She says, "We are abutters to the property on the east and north sides. We support the efforts to manage views to Taylor's Pond on the south-facing side of the property. Efforts to add native species and ground cover to stabilize the bank and introduce native vegetation to restore the damaged oaks will improve the health of the coastal bank and provide the owners with a better vista. However, we do not support the request to remove 19 healthy, mature trees on the east side of the property. The stated objective/outcome number 1 of the project is to improve wildlife habitat function and value throughout the buffer zones, and this work will likely do the opposite. This is a uniquely vibrant wildlife area. An active population of eastern coyote and red fox regularly travel through this area, moving between Taylor's Pond and Cockle Cove Marsh. Additionally, the tree canopy supports several species of birds of prey, including osprey, red-tailed and Cooper's hawks, great horned owls, and many species of migratory and native birds. We have even seen eastern box turtles and spotted salamanders in these woods. The proposed project would likely have a significant negative environmental impact on these wildlife populations. The disturbance to this area should also be considered within the broader work proposed for the entire parcel, including the upland outside the 100-foot buffer zone, where the plan is to remove several more trees and significantly alter water runoff and wildlife passage by the proposed installation of the pool and patio. That is not in our jurisdiction, so just so we note that. She says, additionally, while not a primary concern for the Conservation Commission, it is worth noting that the current tree line on the east side of the property provides a natural buffer for noise and light between our properties. The proposed sunroom and undefined small addition adjacent to it will significantly alter the current relationship. We would like more information about the size and purpose of the third addition. Sunrooms are generally not compatible with trees and shading, so we are interested in gaining a better understanding of the specific plantings proposed on the east side of the property to remedy the removal of these existing tree line buffer. Finally, this project involves consequential work within the 50-foot no disturb zone, especially on the east side of the house. So we have questions about how this project can be completed respectfully, in addition to our significant concerns regarding its impact to the ecosystem. So, and they are at 152 Cockle Cove Road, and then it also says Stephen and Eileen O'Grady at 146 Cockle Cove Road. We have a second email that I think was received today. It is from Megan Clifford Marcinelli. I'm a butter to 101 Uncle Dean's Road and appreciate the opportunity to review the proposed site plan and land management plan for this project. I support efforts to restore native vegetation, manage invasive species, and stabilize the coastal bank, and I recognize the care taken in addressing wetland resource areas. However, I have several concerns as a neighboring property owner that I respectfully request the Commission to consider prior to approval. The first is wildlife movement and corridor continuity. The project materials state an objective of improving wildlife habitat and connectivity. Given the removal of trees on the property and the proposed hardscape fencing, walls, and recreational uses outside the 100-foot buffer, I am concerned about the cumulative impact of wildlife movement between Taylor Pond and the surrounding marsh and upland areas. I would appreciate clarification on how wildlife corridors across the parcel will be maintained during and after construction. Again, anything outside our jurisdiction of 100 feet, we cannot consider. Property line setbacks, structures, and vegetative buffering is her second concern. While the plans address wetland buffers in detail, it is not clear to me how close the proposed pool, patio, gazebo, and building additions are to the property lines, and I'm not going to continue that one because, again, it's about outside of our jurisdiction. She says the existing tree line on the north side of the property currently provides an important natural buffer for privacy, light, and noise between our properties. The removal of mature trees combined with increased activity associated with the pool, patio, gazebo, sunroom may significantly alter these conditions. I respectfully request additional detail regarding proposed replacement of plantings and long-term buffering measures intended to mitigate these impacts. Another concern is stormwater and drainage impacts. I am concerned about potential changes in stormwater runoff resulting from the proposed pool, patio, associated grading, and hardscape. She wants clarification regarding how stormwater is managed for these elements. and confirmation that post-construction runoff would not be redirected and concentrated toward a property line. Finally, I would like to note that I did not receive direct or certified notification of this application and learned of it through other neighbors. I'm a part-time resident, as are many of the people in the area. I would hope that part-time residents and owners would be given a fair opportunity to address these plans. I raise this only to ensure that all abutters are appropriately informed and able to participate fully in the review process. And she's at 95 Uncle Dean's Road. So I don't know what happened with your notifications of abutters, but, so those are the two letters that we received. And again, anything dealing with the pool and all of that area is not in our jurisdiction, so we will not be considering any of that. And hopefully, maybe these people who have concerns about that can speak with the owner, the representatives, and get some answers to that part. But it's not in our jurisdiction. So, do you have anything to say concerning those lovely, very short emails?
Thank you. Thank you for reading them. First and foremost, the abutter issue. Ms. Clifford is on the abutter list. Ms. Clifford got a certified mail, I got a white slip. So I don't know what happened, but we followed the policy. That was the most important thing as far as
Right.
abutter notification.
I'm sure you did. I'm just saying maybe somehow something didn't work.
Sure,
So-
no, that's understandable. I was wondering if we could get copies of those emails sent to me, just through.
Sure,
Since
Bradford,
they're
could
public?
you send those?
Thank
Because
you.
you forwarded them, you put them on our site, so, thank you.
Did you?
Yeah, I think with regard to the sunroom, the elevated sunroom, in terms of its incursion into the no disturb zone, we're really just putting a support post in there. It's not like we're excavating out in that section. So I think and I think you have to keep in mind the location of the property and the prevalence of mosquitoes and things that make outdoor time very uncomfortable. So I think it's nice to have the wood deck for during, when the sun is out, but you really need something with screens to protect the folks if they're outside at all, at sundown or on a damp day. So I'd like you to keep that in mind as a justification for, having that structure there.
Okay. Anybody have anything else? Go ahead, Elise.
I just want to underscore both Bob and Janet's points on the trees. If we can save any of the healthy trees that Bob talked about, and the planting of oaks would be spectacular if you could put some of those guys in at an interesting size. The other question I had in the, there's a lamp post notation. Are we going to do lighting along that path, or what is that?
That's an existing lamp post right here. I haven't spoken to the client whether she would like to keep that or not. It's near the path that we're rerouting, and so I would imagine that it's going to be removed. But that's not something that I've
Okay.
spoken to her with, though, but I will
Okay.
check on that.
We'll take the light post out if it's going to mean a positive result to them.
You want it done?
You could replace it with an oak.
Well, we actually like to turn it on so the foxes can see where they're going.
Oh, thanks. Any other comments?
Just for some clarity, since we do have the owner in the audience, is the commission's feelings that none of the screen porch can be within the no disturb?
So I've also just been reminded that the screen porch is over the septic tank. So, so it's not exactly, as we say, pristine, but
I can't speak for everybody, but I also have an issue with the 56% coverage in the outer aura.
Okay.
I mean, that's significantly higher than 35%. And we are going to have, if that were to remain and we're okay with it, we're going to have some very good reasons why we can approve that, because that is significantly higher.
Okay. Thank you. That's the kind of feedback I was looking for. Appreciate it.
If I can just add to that, it looks like a lot of that is coming from the existing footprint of the house.
Yes.
So I'll just repeat what I said about avoiding the incursion into the no disturb zone by moving the screen porch into the outer aura, which would increase the coverage, but it would avoid, on the other hand, the no disturb zone coverage. That's something I would be able to support that variance, because you're avoiding a more important impact, so.
Even though it is on, on a post.
Yeah, no, I get that it's on a post and it's over
But
the
it's
septic
still-
system, but,
Yeah.
I can see that there's an opportunity there to reconfigure, redesign its location in a way that keeps it out of the no disturb zone.
Yeah.
But
And also, the amount of decking that there is
Yes.
currently. I mean, that could be reduced as well.
Okay.
that was
So-
what I was going to bring up.
Yeah. To offset the screened porch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the percentage of coverage is currently. I mean, really, you're not adding a huge amount in the outer aura. You're adding 682 square feet, yet that puts you at 56.1. Janet has a great comment about, yes, most of this is within the existing footprint of the existing house. So obviously, that, would also be a way that we can consider this by having that number as well. Because if it's, let's say it were 50% now, 6% more is a lot less than saying it's 21%
Yeah, one of the first notes I had
higher.
is I need to provide you the existing coverage.
Well, the percentage, yeah, I think that would also help us, but anything you can do, and as Janet said, protecting the NDZ is even more important. So, even if the screen porch were more into the outer aura, the benefit is there's less of an impact on the NDZ.
Okay.
So, there's a few things to consider.
Did you have anything else?
Anything else?
No, we're gonna have to, because we're revising the plan, the zoning board's being moved off as well, so.
Right. So you've got some time, because I know that that's not complete yet. And so when would you like to come back?
I think we're gonna need more than a couple weeks to kind of figure
Right.
out where we're headed.
So we have February 11th, February 25th, March 11th, March 25th, and then we're into April.
I'm out of town on the 11th, the week of the 11th.
Okay, so you want to do February
So I
25th?
think February 20, the second meeting is the best one for us.
Perfect. Even better. Okay, if we could have a motion, please.
I move that we continue 101 Uncle Dean's Road to the meeting on February 25th, 2026.
Second?
Elise?
Aye.
Janet?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And I say aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Bradford, the next.
All right. Moving on to certificates of compliance. I'll read the next two in as well. We have a certificate of compliance for 30 Tisquantum Road, Stephen and Janet Nemi, map 14A2, parcels N51 and N158, SC 10-2696. This was for a view corridor, tree removal and trimming, footpath and addition. and a COC for 30 Tisquantum Road, Stephen and Janet Nemi, map 1482, parcels N51 and N158, SE 10-3141, for the construction of a deck, 2 patios with stairs and retaining walls. There's a few things, so I'm just gonna go through
Please.
through all of them. For the first one, SE 10-2696, they did receive a partial COC for the hardscape in 2019. And in that partial COC, there was an ongoing condition for view pruning and maintenance of the overlook path with prior notification to the conservation agent. When Paul and I went out there last week, it looked like the view pruning had been more extensive than what was approved within those view corridors. So I would recommend redefining those view corridors and bringing in that ongoing condition into this condition as well. So contacting conservation prior to doing any view management, just so we can bring it back to what it was.
Okay.
And with 3141, there were some minor deviations with the plantings, but I didn't see any major issues with the hardscape.
Okay. Thank you. Did you want to comment?
No, I
can also address
I did speak with Bradford last week about this, and the conditions, the ongoing conditions about the view pruning is understandable.
Okay. Anybody have anything else? Any commissioners?
If I
No?
may, I did also want to mention that there was a cleared area of vegetation on
Right.
the east side of the property. I did some research and realized that was over the septic's leach field. And the last couple of septic inspections have recommended maintaining the vegetation over that area. So my assumption is that they went a little overboard and cleared a larger area than was necessary. However, there were some woody vegetation that wouldn't be appropriate over a leach field. So I'd recommend most likely a separate filing just to replant that area with something more appropriate over the leach field.
Okay. Your thoughts?
The septic system went in, it was over 15 years ago, and when it was installed, it was outside of any resource area. So that southeasterly side of the property was not within conservation's jurisdiction. So that's really the only place on the property to put the leach field at that time that was outside your jurisdiction. The floodplain obviously changed in 2014. It came up, I think, 2 feet or maybe 3 feet in Stage Harbor, which then gave the floodwaters access to the old cranberry bog that's on Stage Island. And the extent of that flood zone comes up to the south side of the house now. And so now there's a new coastal bank. And that is reflected on the 2016 plan that had the deck addition and the landscaping. So looking at the Google Earth images going back, there was a period of time where they were maintaining that area over the leach field. They certainly haven't done it in a long time, and woody vegetation is coming up, and that does not bode well for the longevity of the system to have trees grow up over it, because it is a stone trench system. It's easily infiltrated by root systems.
So Bradford's recommending that you come, or the owner come with a separate application for that.
Yeah, Yeah, so the property's scheduled to close, I think, next week. And I believe that the buyer is aware that they should maintain the vegetation over the system.
And that they should come to us for
Yep. They'll
approval.
have to come to you for a maintenance plan approval.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Then I think we can have a motion for these with the ongoing condition, the future pruning for the first one, 2696, would need to be done with prior approval from the Conservation Commission or Conservation Department.
Okay, I move that we approve the certificate of compliance for 30 Tisquantum Road as modified.
Second?
Elise?
Aye.
Janet? Aye. Paul?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And I say aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next one, Bradford, please.
All right. Next is another certificate of compliance for 114 Bucks Creek Road, Mahoney Revocable Family Trust, map 8B, parcel 59-S98, SE 10-2254, construction of an addition and deck to an existing family dwelling. So this is also an old order from 2006. The hardscape was completed. There was, it seems to be 2 feet wider than what was originally approved. I think we had approved a 10 by 16 and it ended up being a 12 by 16. There is an existing shed and shower that presumably predates the order of conditions. What we didn't see was that any of the mitigation plantings were planted. There was a note to provide a sketch plan of the plantings to conservation that was never provided to us. And given the situation of this this particular order, the original homeowner passed away a couple months ago, and her family is in the process of selling the house. So my recommendation would be to approve the COC so we don't hold up the selling, and then providing the mitigation plantings as an after the fact. We could do an administrative review or an RDA if you guys would prefer. But I spoke to them this morning, and I believe you are willing to do those mitigation plantings.
Okay, hi. Did you want to speak at all?
Go for it.
Just identify yourself first.
Sure. For the record, Rick Judd, Moran Engineering Associates. More importantly, to your left, my right is Dr. Sally Mahoney. That's the estate's daughter. 2006 was Moran Engineering Incorporated that dissolved back in 2013. So we did some research and were able to go through ZBA and locate a same date, same plan. Why it wasn't on the conservation plan showing the shed, we have no idea. But the shed does have record of being there at the same date. And then we did a Google search also on Google Earth and were able to identify it. So there was a little discrepancy of an addition of 32 square feet on the deck that's on the support post sonotubes. And then we did note that the actual stairs were, instead of being on the east side, were built on the west side. So functionally, they were just shifted over. We didn't have in our research and in our file research at our office any sketch of a mitigation plan. So in the front yard, there are plantings. I can't qualify that they are mitigation plantings. The backyard is, in my opinion, with one exception, somewhat wild. But we would be happy to work with the modification on 420 square feet versus the 402 versus the 3. Thank you. So that's certainly in line. We would ask if through the chair of the commission would be agreeable to partially certify at least the construction aspect of this, and the plants could be done at another time.
So are you recommending a partial, or does that not fulfill the being able to close on the house?
I think in this circumstance, we could go with the full COC with
Okay.
the understanding that they would file,
Come back to us
Come
with a
back.
mitigation plan?
exactly, yes.
Okay, and can we, when we approve the COC, could we put a condition in there that a mitigation plan would be coming to us in the future?
I think so, yeah, I think that would be
Okay.
appropriate.
I think, just so we have it on record someplace.
I can have a, for the record, within 2 weeks, I'll have a mitigation plan for review, and then we can look for a date certain when the weather gets a bit warmer for the installation.
Sure.
Okay.
We can also, if you're willing to move that quickly, we can, nope, never mind, because that would hold, I was going to say we can hold the COC pending
Yeah, I
plan,
think
but that would hold up
it'd be hard to
sale.
hold it for a mitigation. So
Yeah.
I think putting something in the COC that says that they will be coming to us for a plan would at least have it on record someplace.
Yes, yep.
Okay, so we could have, if anybody have any other questions?
I got a
Go
question.
ahead, Bob.
I think there are railroad ties under the deck itself. Did you notice those in the ground?
So there, when you face the back of the house, there's a door that leads to the lower level. The proposed addition on this particular plan is physically to the left, and that's a crawl space. So I did see that there were, there's a set of stairs that go down to what was the pre-existing, and to the left is the deck and the addition on the crawl space. So yes, I did see that.
But are they serving a purpose, or?
I don't think you could open the door without, for the pre-existing, I don't think you could open the door without that.
Okay. I thought they were just laying in the ground. I just saw a couple laying in the ground, no?
Oh, no, if you look in the photographs that I supplied,
Yeah.
there's a door right there.
Yeah,
And that's
okay.
how they get in and out of the
I
basement.
see, okay.
Yes.
Okay, anything else? Then could we have a motion, please?
Yeah, I move that we I move that we approve the 114 Bucks Creek Road to the, continue it for a certificate of compliance as modified.
Second?
Elise?
Aye.
Janet? Aye. Paul?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And I say aye. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're all set. Okay, the next, please.
Next up is the proposed changes to the Chatham Wetlands regulations.
Okay, so we've had a couple hearings on this, and modifications were made. Do any commissioners have any further comments? I don't see anybody online that, so nobody. What? Yeah. All right. So these are, the only modifications to the regulations are to have it go hand in hand with the new applications that we have started implementing this month. So I think that's why nobody has any really thing to say about it besides us. So I guess we could have a motion to approve.
I move that we approve the modifications to the Chatham Wetlands regulations.
Second?
Elise?
Aye.
Janet?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And I say aye. Okay, the next, Bradford, and we're going to have to do these separately because different people were out for different meetings.
All right, so first up would be minutes for November 12th, 2025.
Yep. Anything, anybody have any additions, corrections besides what maybe is on Teams right now? Okay, then if we could have a motion, please.
I move that we approve the minutes from November 12th, 2025.
Second?
Okay, Elise?
Aye.
Janet? Aye. Paul?
Aye.
You have to abstain. You were out. You were out on
that's right.
November 12th.
Abstain.
Bob?
Aye.
And I say aye. Okay, the next one, please.
Next is the minutes for December 3rd, 2025.
Okay, anybody have anything more to add, modify on those?
I have one thing.
Please.
On 88 Seagull Road,
Mm-hmm.
later on in the meeting, not at the beginning. Let's see, the third to last sentence, he also asked where the erosion is going. I want to change that to, he also asked where the soil has eroded to.
Oh, that's better.
Third to last sentence on 88 Seagull Road. It's down further, we kind of postponed it in the meeting, we tabled it until later,
I'm trying to
so
find
it
it.
came up twice.
This is the 3rd?
December 3rd? I don't think it's on December 3rd. I think you've got the 17th. Yeah, I'm not seeing 88 Seagull. Let's go into 17th.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
No, that's fine. I'm just looking. Okay, I think. Moncusser. Yeah, it's in the 17th. So what did you want it to, he also asked where the erosion is going, and you wanted to say,
Yeah,
He also-
Bob asked the board that the borders not be railroad ties and be pressure-treated wood, and then it says, he also asked where the erosion is going. He also asked where the soil has eroded to.
oh, that's better. And you're getting it,
That's
right,
better.
Janet? Okay.
Sorry about that.
Nope, that's fine, but we'll go back right now to December 3rd.
Because I think I was absent too, this December 3rd.
Yeah, you were absent December 3rd. So anything else on December 3rd? No? Then we can have a motion.
I move that we approve the minutes from December 3rd, 2025.
Second?
Okay, Elise?
Aye.
Janet? Aye. Paul?
Aye.
Bob?
Abstain.
And I say aye. Okay, December 17th, right? Okay, besides what Bob just added, anything else? Okay, we can have a motion.
I move that we approve the minutes from December 17th, 2025.
Second?
Elise?
Aye.
Janet? Aye. Paul?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And I abstain. All right, so we got through that. So, I think we have one more motion.
I move that we adjourn the hearing.
Second?
Elise?
Aye.
Janet? Aye. Paul?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And I say aye.